Everybody, welcome to the Dispenser Show. It is I, Spencer, your host. Now, I've been away for quite a while, and you know what? It's a little past overdue that I do a video, and no better than the present because I've actually been doing some role play for the last couple of weeks, and you know, a lot of progression, a lot of interesting things to come back to. And I wanted to share with you guys. It started about, I'd have to say, 3 weeks ago, and you know, I started getting back in touch with Rick, and he's like, you know what, let's do a mock session. Let's get together, create a character, and we'll go through some stuff, and relearn how to do the 4D and all this other fun stuff. So I'm like, you know what, sure, why not? So we picked a day that I had off. And we went to the went to the gathering place, strange ideas, and sat down, created a character, and went through the session. Lasted maybe an hour or so, but it was more or less a practice session to get back into the swing of things, with 4D roleplay. Now, if anyone knows anything about 4D, it would be Rick, and like I said, Max, I know you're with Rick's last stream there. I was able to attend that one for a little bit before I went to work, and I know a lot about 4D roleplay. Same with Big Bad. Same with Nicholas. No, Zonalar. I know I keep naming the four people, but there's a lot of people on that page, the 4D web page. So we continue on with our session, and while we're going through our session, it's like we had to yell at each other. It's like we're almost touching nose to nose for trying to get this role play going because the place that we're in, it was loaded with people playing D&D. And they apparently had this thing to yell on top of each other, and it got louder and louder and louder, and I think we ended our stream there. And it's it was it was an eye opener, let's put it that way, because for just two groups of like eight, and they're sitting almost right next to each other with their own groups, and they have to yell. It was crazy. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go to a different place. And we ended up going to one place, another place. It was a lot quieter. It was a lot more. I would have to say comfortable because everyone wasn't yelling on top of each other. Yeah, there's maybe four or five groups that were actually doing D&D on that night, and we're able to sit at the table and be able to talk to each other, and be able to sit back like this and you know have a good session zero with setting up a character. And that was the following week. We talked about it, and yeah, we started getting going, and I quickly created a character because I had dinner plans with the family and all that kind of stuff. So that was that night, and I know it was a good session zero because we had a new guy come in, and we're talking. We got him into it, and it was more or less from like a friend of ours. He wanted to learn how to play, And you know how we learn. Everyone that's in the 4D channel, and if you guys are listening, we all know how to kick it. We know how to play. We know it's all theater of the mind. And he didn't know how to do this. He didn't, because he's all used to the 5e edition D&D where, as Rick would put it, a big head that's floating in there controlling the scenario. Now, I know there's my son, he plays that way too. And I give it all for him. Everyone has their own way of playing D&D, you know. And honestly, the best way to go is 4D, but don't don't let them know about that. Anyways, we started cooking these characters for Castles and Crusades, not D&D. And it was cool. And I come back next week, and Rick brought his kids there, and we're ready to go, and two more people were were wanting to play. They wanted to learn. So we're like, you know what? All these groups are filled, and they all got going on, and they're all doing their own thing with the 5e edition. And we're like, you know what? Let's teach some more. And man, did they take off. Like, it was crazy. I think they're part of the 4D group as well. And sorry if I forget your names, but it was a pleasure to play with you guys. Because after being away from role playing all this time, I was able to pick it up and maybe even do better than what I was before, you know? Like, I I had to look back on my stream page, and some of the comments I gave myself was below minimum, and I know I got judged for it and all that other fun stuff, but I felt like I progressed. I felt like I progressed to a sense where I can actually play and pick up and actually use the creative mind to bring it to life. And we did. After we got these guys brought in, character made, it took us, we're only able to play for an hour or so or whatnot, but still, like that 1 hour of being able to play and everyone do their turn in sequence, and everyone uses their imagination to bring it to this game, as Rick with the narrator, like, I had a great time. And we're, as far as I know, doing it again this week, and I'm just like, I'm ready for this. We're doing so well. We're vibing. We're becoming a unit, and everyone has their own imagination to bring to the game. And it's nice because it doesn't involve I guess you would have to sort of put it as like a judge, to say what we can or what we can't do, what we're looking at, what we're facing, what we're able to do. No, it's all based on your skill level, the imagination, and if you can and cannot make those few rolls. Even the dice rolling, as much as people like doing that, it just, the few dice rolls, well, it's a judgment call. And being able to progress or, you know, not progress through the dice roll for very minimal things, it's it's great. I had a lot of fun, and this past little bit, I know it's been quite a while, and even just a little time of getting back into it, I really enjoyed it. You know, being able to get out again and be involved in theater of the mind again and being able to be a part of something again. It does make a difference. And who you're playing with really makes a difference too. So all the role players out there, if you found your group and you're there to have fun, it doesn't matter what you do. If you do 4D, if you do 5E, with the floating head, if you do, you know, just a straight up role play, be yourself, have fun, enjoy it, create a character, create a persona that you think you'd be willing to play, to to bring to life. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm glad to be a part of a group again. So, you know, any newcomers that come onto the 4D page or anyone that comes into the place that we're doing our 4E or 4D role play, come on down. Let's create a character. Let's have another session zero briefly and get you going because we're willing to have fun with you. That's what it's all about. It's about creating a community and being able to bring a story to life. So, it's been a long time since I've been able to come back on here, but hey, you guys, like I'm glad to be back here. I hope to be doing more, and I hope that there's more people that'll tune in. I know it's not much, but my take on 40 roleplay, I have fun. I talk about it. You know, maybe it'll inspire others to join because the theater of the mind and the people that you work with makes all the difference. 5e, 4D, doesn't matter. Anyways, guys, that's the end of my stream. I'm Spencer. Hope you guys tune in, you know, and whoever joined in, thank you for coming in, and we'll talk to you soon. See you.